Welcome back. Speak 223, comfort to speak. We left off on triangulation. Now, as I told y'all before about there's levels to this. So if you watched some of the previous videos, for my people perish with lack of knowledge. But the thing about this particular knowledge, I don't live that kind of lifestyle. I don't think to pay attention to those types of things, but I can also say that there will be something much stronger than intuition as far as picking up on some of the spirits around me. Just pretty much the opposite of the fruits of the spirit: gentleness, patience, kindness, self-control. you know. So my partner for life, I can't even speak, nice about it, because they had absolutely no concern for my well-being, how I would take things, my thought on things. And I'm not going to hold y'all, and I'm not going to lie to y'all. I was very understanding. And I thought that by being understanding, I was protecting myself within the union that I'm in. But that wasn't the case. That was not the case. So the surveillance, cameras, it can pick up different videos and conversations. When people are having conversations, it's like the cameras were meant for you, and it turns around to be using them, because in my case, I was not purposely listening. I'm not kidding y'all at all. It's like I would literally just bump into it, and I'm like, what is this? So anyhow, how many of y'all out there remember, you kind of know people by their government name, or a higher name they give themselves, that, when they kind of let you into their world and let you know who they are. I've always had a thing when I see people with aliases. Now, this is different. Video content, expressing, trying to help others with the message by almost sharing not the full capacity of the story, but a lot of the story. And I hope I'm not boring you out there. The whole purpose of this is just to get a message out there. For so many people don't think for themselves, and they allow someone else to kind of overtake what they would do and would not do. And then in my case, I was a pretty strong-minded person. So this is all the more interesting that I would even allow myself to, well, again, way before I even came into a marriage union with this person, I was understanding that the ratio of partners to one to the other, and how it wasn't too many available, so to speak. So when I first came into just everything, I always had an understanding in the back of my mind that there could possibly be, and it doesn't mean I don't have any kind of low self-esteem or anything like that. I'm just more of a realist, and I knew the possibility of my partner for life possibly bumping into someone one day, or a drunken night or something off like that. But there was nothing that could, well, God could, maybe if I would have just stayed in tune, but preparing me for this was, I mean, y'all, I really have no words. That this was not called cheating. I always say, I'm like, you can't call this cheating. This was an everyday reoccurrence, expectation. It's like you're in this, you're in a union, like you're in an actual marriage union with me, but it's almost like you're in a union with me, but married to self. And every single time you leave the house, and this is what's really crazy, y'all. Imagine all of this all of this going on, but your partner still being lifted up the way that I was lifted up, the way that I was talked about or expressed from my partner for life's mouth, you would think they didn't need anyone else but me and the higher being of God. So it's like I laugh because you literally don't even know like who you're looking at or who you're talking to. So okay, let me get into it. I know I've kind of like dragged around, going, circling around. My partner for life, I don't know if they thought it was funny, if they just again wanted to try and hurt me. Because remember, I told you, it's like I'm the actual unbothered one. Some people walk around and say they're unbothered, but you can see every little thing is bothering them, or they're bothered, they're jealous, all of that kind of stuff. I am the actual unbothered one. So it got to a point where I'm like, okay, I'm unbothered, but this is just a bit much. It's like I have to almost fight against myself because you want to keep mentioning these names to me. I mean, it got to a point where because remember, these people had aliases. So like when you go to the strip clubs and things like that, and people have like Peaches and whatever, those little names that aren't exactly considered government names. And I'm not trying to put anyone down out there if your name is that. I'm just using an example. A complete disclaimer there. I'm just using an example for the possible names of people that frequent like adult clubs. So, but it was just that. It was like I couldn't even hear the names of certain things because my partner for life is draining things. And y'all have to understand something even further in this whole triangulation. The part with my mind, these things were happening. Like I would be asleep and I'm getting like a whisper in my ear of someone else's name or something. I mean, just absolute like taunting, devilish, call it what it is, extremely devilish,